Have you ever wondered if the lofts and lie on your clubs are correct? This week, I'm going to show you a set of wedges that I have for a customer, and the answer may surprise you. This is a loft lie machine. This machine allows you to check the loft and lie of your clubs. Your clubs, especially if they're forged or if you've used them for a couple of seasons, the lies and the lofts can definitely change. This is even or way more noticeable in your wedges than it is in your iron game, but it's still important for you to keep up on that. I read an article one time that said individuals that hit off of mats a lot, that those clubs can change their lofts and lies a lot more just due to the nature of how firm the mats are, and it can definitely bend them in a direction that you don't want them to be bent. So taking them to a club fitter to check them over every season or every second season is a really good idea. It's even important sometimes, even when they're brand new, because there are always tolerances and you just may feel something that just isn't right in your clubs. So how this works, I'm going to grab first a 54-degree wedge. And I will put this into this machine. I'm going to change the camera angle up here and just give you a good idea of how this works and how we can see what the loft and the lie is of this wedge. So on this loft machine, you can see that all of these numbers correspond to an iron. And the lofts and the lies that are associated with it are just what this machine is set up to. It's not necessarily standard, especially in today's day and age with the stronger lofted irons. It's something that you have to be a little bit more careful of. So for me, a lot of times, they have a 7 iron here at 35 degrees of loft. A lot of them nowadays may be a little bit closer to 31. So if I know what the stock loft is, I will always just choose one of these closer. It's not cut and dry. I don't have to put a 6 iron here at this spot. I don't have to put a 7 iron at this spot. I choose whichever one will work better. On the end here, you'll see this slider, and they have grooves, and this groove will sit on top of the shaft, and it will tell me the lie angle of left-handed from 65 all the way down to 53, and it will do the same thing for right-handers, 65 all the way down to 53. Also using the golf shaft as a guide, you'll see here that if this is on 0, so if I put a 7 iron in here and this is on 0, what that is telling me is it is going to be exactly 35 degrees because this hasn't changed up or down. S, of course, would mean strong. W would mean weak. So by using the corresponding number on here, I'm able to tell what the loft is, and using this right here, I'm able to tell what the lie is. When I put the iron head in, what I'm trying to do is I'm making sure that the score lines are in line with this. I then tighten it up. Because these are a little bit softer of an iron head, I do have protective film and tape on it, just because this machine sometimes can just mar it a little bit. It doesn't damage it. It just a little bit with the finish might just turn a little bit of a black. I have to clean it off. I can clean it off afterwards, but this just eliminates that. This here is a toe stop. It just prevents the toe from slipping, and I move it from the left side to the right side if I'm doing a left-handed club. Since this is a right-handed club, this toe stop, of course, is on the left side. In the machine currently is the 54-degree wedge that my customer had concerns about. So this wedge is supposed to be 54. He has a 50 and a 58. So he, of course, wants 4 degrees between each wedge. I have this wedge in here now, and I have it set up on SAM wedge and where it would be 56 degrees. I don't have a 54-degree setting on here. That's okay because I can find out plus or minus 5 degrees from the reading on this. This is at a 56-degree angle. Now, using this, and I apply this to the shaft and make sure it's pressed up against it, now I look down here. And what you're going to see when it focuses is it's on 0. So what does that tell us? That tells us that this wedge that is supposed to be 54 degrees is 56. Now, I checked this customer's wedges before, and his 50 is at 51, his 54 is at 56, and his 58 is where it needs to be. So you can now see that he had a 5-degree gap here, but only 2 degrees here. If that was at 50, he would have had an even larger gap. So now that we know that, and I know that, I'm now able to bend this wedge to be 54 degrees. I now, because I need it to strengthen, I need to take this and I need to pull it back. That is going to increase the loft from 56 back down to 54. I will also adjust the 50-degree wedge that is currently at 51 back to 50, so that way they now have their appropriate gapping and appropriate lofts that they want. So again, I highly advise you, if you're someone that's very meticulous about distances, your wedge game, your distance gapping, get it checked out. I know sometimes it might seem like you're like, oh, it's okay, but trust me, these lofts and lies do change over time. Finding someone that can do this for you can help improve your game. That's it for this week. I'm Adam Burton from Grip Garage in Calgary, doing this report for Golf Life Alberta Tech Tuesdays. Looking forward to see you again next week, and we have some big things coming up in the month of February for you.